welcome back to the channel. You're watching Fishing with Fish School. I'm your host Kevin, and today I wanted to talk to you about the best panfish bait I have ever used. And of course, I'm talking about the Eurotackle B-Vibe. Stay tuned. Now the B-Vibe comes in three sizes: 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and 3 inches. Now the 1.5 and the 2-inch one, they're more for your panfish, like your crappies, your bluegills, your perch. And the 3-inch ones are more for your bigger game fish, like bass, pickerel, anything really. I mean, a perch and a crappie will eat that too. I have been using the Eurotackle B-Vibe for about 3 years now. I discovered it watching YouTube, watching a channel run by Leo Sheng called Extreme Philly Fishing. He got sponsored by them, and he started making videos using these B-Vibes, and I was like, oh, that looks good, like a little panfish swim bait. I never really seen that before, so I bought them. As soon as I started using them, I started catching so many fish. It is ridiculous. I'd catch small largemouth bass, big largemouth bass, small crappie, big crappie, perch. I've even caught catfish. I've caught an 8-pound catfish on this 2-inch B-Vibe before. I've also fished in the saltwater with it. I've caught a bluefish, and I've caught a flounder on it. This bait, it's just incredible. Now, if I just want to catch like a bluegill or a sunfish, I go with the 1.5-inch one. It just seems they're able to get it in their mouth a lot easier. But if I'm going for anything a little bigger, like crappie or perch, I throw on the 2-inch one. But again, the 2-inch one is what catches most of my fish. The 2-inch, I caught a 5-pound bass on the 2-inch B-Vibe before. The 3-inch is if I'm looking for a bigger bite. I'll throw the 3-inch around during tournaments just to see if any schooling fish want to feed. Now, I know I mentioned Extreme Philly Fishing, Leo Sheng. He also has his line of Eurotackle baits. So it doesn't stop just at the B-Vibe. There's also the EPF Grub, which I catch a lot of fish on. But that's another bait, and that's another video. Now, the way to rig this is I like to use a 1/16 ounce jig head, because there's other ways you can use lighter jig heads like 1/32 ounce or 1/64 ounce, but those are really light, and those are mostly used when you're using a float on top. But I use these as a search bait. I cast them out and I wind them back to the boat. I don't really use a bobber or float or anything and use them slowly around cover. I like to throw these out and reel them back in. So all three of these jig heads, these are all 1/16 ounce jig heads, but they're different size hooks to fit each bait. So the way you rig them up is you want to make sure the tail is facing down. You take the hook, you want to make it as straight as possible. So you go right in the top of the head, go down the back, and come out like so. And you slide it up the jig head. You make it as straight as possible. And the swimming action on this is incredible. This tail will kick like crazy. And even when it's sinking, it'll always sink straight down. A lot of my hits come on the fall too. So again, make sure the tail's down. Go through the nose of the bait. Go down as far as you can. Come out. Slide it up the jig head. See? That tail goes crazy. Again. Make sure the tail's down. It's a lot harder to rig these smaller ones. But you go in. Make sure you can keep it as straight as possible. And you come out. Slide it up. Now that thing swims amazing. So anyway, I like to throw these on ultralight rods, 5 or 5.5 foot rod with a little ultralight reel, and I range from 4 to 8 pound test, depending on if I know the lake has a lot of toothy critters like pickerel. I'll go with 8 pound test just to be on the safe side. So anyway, that's been the Eurotackle B-Vibe. This is definitely my go-to bait when I'm having trouble on the water. Do you have any other go-to baits? Or have you ever tried the Eurotackle B-Vibe or anything else in the Eurotackle line? There's the EPF Swim, there's EPF Grub, EPF Minnow, there's the Stonefly. There's a lot of soft plastics. There's even hard baits too. Comment below and let me know what your go-to baits are when you're having trouble on the water. If you just want a quick bite, you want to get some confidence back, this is an amazing confidence bait for me. I've had trouble for hours on the water and I throw this bad boy on. I catch a fish, whoop, my confidence spikes. So anyway, this is another episode of Fishing with Fish Call. I'm your host, Kevin. Peace out.